Hi there, this is Maggie Holmes for Studio Calico, and I'm excited to be with you today to share a layout that I'm creating using the new Atlantic collection. I love all the mix of colors and the patterns, and I'm excited to work with all of these fun products and to show you a bit of my process. As you can see, I've already got some things going here on my layout. I'm starting with this pink paper that has a subtle pattern to it. I feel like that's soft enough for a background and won't be too distracting from the photo and everything else that's going on. And the next thing I do is I start gathering papers that I like and some other little bits of things like the tag and the old book paper and the glassine bag. And I like to layer a lot of these different elements. And as you can see, I have nothing adhered down yet onto the layout. And that's because I like to cut all of these things and kind of play around with my layering to see how I like it before I actually put it on the page. And so you can see here that I've kind of figured out what I'm going to do and how I'm going to place everything. So I'm going to pull this aside and start actually adhering everything down onto the page. I start with obviously the thing that goes on the bottom. And I'm going to place that shipping tag. I love to use shipping tags on my layouts that are from the Studio Calico shop. And then I also love to use pieces of old book paper that I just keep on hand in my scrapbook room. So I'm going to put that one down next. Then I have cut this yellow paper to size, and I'm going to put that one down. And each piece, as I layer all of these, is just a little bit bigger than the next. Another favorite thing from the Studio Calico shop is the glassine bags. And I love these. I just love that they add some texture and fun thing to layer in on there. I'm going to put that one down next. Also, as you can see, while I'm working on this, I usually only put adhesive right on the middle of my papers, and I do that so that I can tuck other things in and layer in more bits of papers if I want to at the end. Another reason I do that also is because I like things to kind of curl up and pop up off the page to give it some dimension, and so I don't put adhesive all the way around all four edges of my photos or the paper, so that again it can be popping up like that. And then I'm going to tuck the little journaling card inside here, and as you can see, I wouldn't be able to do that if I had put adhesive all the way to the edges, but because I only put the adhesive in the middle, now it allows me to do that. So the next step for me after I get all those layers down and I get my photo on is to start embellishing and adding all the little fun finishing touches. So first thing I'm going to do is add some twine into my shipping tag. And I've chosen a blue and white that coordinates with some of the other things that I'm going to be adding onto the page in just a minute. And tie that on there. I'll play with the placement of that in a minute. And then next thing I'm going to add are these cork embellishments. I love that they're printed on with these fun patterns and words. And I'm also going to add some of these gold glitter stars that I love. One of the things that I really love about when products like this, these embellishments, are on the clear backing, what I like to do if I'm not sure and I want to play around with things is you can cut out around the backing, around the embellishment, and leave the backing on. And that allows you to kind of play with it and position things on your layout and kind of play around with these until you get the right spacing and the right look that you want without having to commit right away and adhere them down. So I'm just going to play around with these for a minute, kind of get the spacing that I like. I'm going to add a label behind that one just to add some dimensions. So I like how those all are. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the backing off of these and stick these down. Put this label on here. bit closer. And I'm also going to add a star over on this side. And I'm going to also add some more cork embellishments. These are from the Arrows sheet. And again, I cut around the backing on these just to play with it, figure out how I wanted it on here first. So now once I get these on here, you can sew with your sewing machine right through all of these embellishments, the cork and the glitter chipboard pieces as well. So at the end, that's what I always do, is I like to stitch through all of them just to really secure them on and to also add a little bit more to it. So I'm going to kind of keep playing with that a little bit. Move that in until I get the placement. Okay, I think I like that. So next I'm going to add this vellum shape, and it's a little geotag. I'm going to add that over here. Thought that was pretty cute. And I'm going to add a button to the center of that. My favorite thing to use is the glossy accents for things like this. So I'm going to put that on. And I also absolutely love the fabric bows that come in this collection. So I'm going to put that on there. I love how it just adds a cute little feminine touch. And just add a little bit more glue behind there to really secure that down. Give that a second. Then I'm going to add an E for Emily. I'm going to place that right in the middle there. And on this one, a lot of times I will add a big title, but on this one I decided that I'm just going to let the E and the love kind of be my title, and then I'm going to write everything else out with my pen instead of spelling out a big title with the letters. So I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I use the chipboard alphabets to do a big title, and other times I just do something more like this where I let an embellishment be the title. And I'm going to add a few more little pieces, things over here on the side. This is a printable label from Studio Calico. Just print that right on my home computer. Move that up. And as you can see, I just like to layer everything, play with things a lot. Here's another little label sticker. And that'll give me a spot to write the date or her name or something like that. I'll trim off the edge here. Then I also love sequins, as you probably know, and so I'm going to add some of these fun sequins that come all together in a package. And I usually wait and add the sequins at the very end so I can see kind of where I want a little sparkle and a little bit of finishing touch. And so I think I'm going to add them just right down here. And as you can see, I will use some type of adhesive just to get my sequins in place. And then after that, I'll always take it over to my sewing machine and then I'll stitch it in place, because otherwise they'll fall off. Or you could also use some type of wet glue as well, but I just like this way because it's faster and I love how it looks when it's all stitched on there, and so that's why I do it that way. But this way it kind of holds it in place while you're stitching it and running it through your sewing machine so that they don't all fall off and get lost. And then next thing I'm going to do is just add a couple of these foam adhesive squares. This is another favorite product of mine, and I'll add these right behind some of these layers so that it'll help everything kind of pop off the page a little bit more and make it so it's not all super flat. So you can kind of see that. I'll kind of add just a few of those around the page. And then again, once I sew, I'll stitch through a lot of this stuff and then kind of pull everything up and pop it up a little bit more again. And then my last touch will be to add the journaling. And my favorite markers are the precision pens and the slick writers that are in the shop, the American Crafts. And I love those because then I can write on any surface. And I'll write her name right here. And I always add some lines and a little bit of doodling. And I'm just going to check my date here so that I know when this was, November 9th. So I'm going to add that right there. Again, some more little lines. And then I'll also add my journaling right here. A little bit of a title. And I'm going to add my journaling here that I have over on my notes. And again, I'll just add these lines, really kind of doodling, and then I'm going to add a little bit more with the gold metallic marker from American Crafts. And that's it. So again, like I said, my last and finishing final touch will be to add my stitching with my sewing machine and probably a couple little staples here and there. And that is it. So thanks for joining me today for a bit of my process. You can check out studiocalico.com for more inspiration. Thanks.